Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of TerraVentures. We're here in the stadium once again, and where we have got quite a bit of progress done. As you can see, we have outlined the entire outside with the grey terracotta and the white concrete, so that's going all the way around. The stadium is just about as high as it's going to go. It's pretty high already. From here it's about 54, that's about 74, so grass to here it's about as tall as these stadiums. Sorry, as the skyscrapers, but it is infinitely larger. Or, okay, maybe not infinitely, but it's a really, really large building. And, oh no. I don't know why I'm worrying so much. I can probably slaughter this Enderman. Where did he go? There we go, all slaughtered. Anyway, so the plan for today is to finish off a few more things. So you can see I've started on the what do you call this? This polished andesite outside for the third tier. One thing I know I said last episode was that I was going to work on the offices, not the offices, the corporate boxes and all that. I think I forgot to put in. I need to put in some. I really don't know what I'm saying here, do I? I need to put in some coaches boxes, just 2 of them. So that'll be somewhere along here as well. I don't want that. I want that. So that shouldn't be too hard, but for first off we're going to start by finishing off at least the outside bits of these things here, which shouldn't be too hard and shouldn't take too long. So let's get cracking. Part of the question is what to do here, and I'm thinking I'm just going to peter it off, and I'm not quite sure if I'll put seats here because this might go down. I'm not certain. Yeah, actually no, here it won't, but somewhere along here it will start. So that's yet to be determined. It's yet to be determined exactly what I do there, but for the most part I should be able to figure out what I can do here. So as you can see, I've got a 5 away from this bit here, so copying that across shouldn't be too hard, although I do want to do it from the ground, so that might be a bit hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just need to continue that quite a bit of times. Now that it's broad daylight and we have finished off this part of the building, going all the way around excepting where the TVs are, of course, it's time to figure out how we're going to do these offices. And first off, I'm going to do the coaches boxes. I decided to do them on the wings, as it were, the wings of the stadium, so you can have a full view of what's going on. You're reasonably high and can still see still make up people, I assume. So what I was thinking is these boxes should be reasonably large. So this one's probably a bit bigger than these ones here. So if we have one there, cut it off like that, and these are just temporary, I might change them out. But something like that, this one's probably smaller than that one, but still pretty reasonable. So what I should do here, what I would like to do here is just a big glass wall, and probably 1, 2, let's see, I'm not quite certain how I want to do this, but I think like that, and put that block there, and something like that should do quite nicely. Then if I bring this across, and of course I ran out of things, but if I go like that, and then see how it is from the bottom of the stadium, it should be pretty okay, I reckon. Let's just finish off this glass. There we go, and keep going. Right, it's night. I've run out of glass, but I've got 3 different things here. I've decided to change it out for andesite again, or polished andesite, because I think it blends in better with the rest of the build, with the rest of the andesite heavy build. It does strike me that I've probably laid more andesite blocks than any other type in this entire world, so that's a bit of a plus. Although I suppose whatever this is, the grey concrete or the cyan terracotta would be close. But anyway, so what I've done, as you can see, what I've done up here, when I want to get up, is, yeah, just put in the half slab there. So it does mean that the roof may be changed a little bit, and I may have to do a little bit of changing things up a bit, but I'm not quite certain still how I'm going to do this. Now, I do want these to be, at least one of these to be coaches boxes. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. It's just, I've never obviously been in those coaching boxes or the corporate boxes at the ground I'm basing this off. And so that is a little bit of a problem. It's a little bit of a conundrum as to how I design it. So all I've seen, of course, is what I can glean from TV. So what I'm thinking is make this a reasonably large build, or reasonably large back here. I can't get rid of that. Make it reasonably large, put some kind of seats in, but like comfortable seats, maybe large chairs, some kind of bar back here, maybe just some entertainment district, so entertainment thing. So it's a little bit of a, how do I get up there? There's a little bit of a problem how I actually do it. The coaches boxes will be pretty easy. I think just large chairs, a little table with some potential computer screens and whatnot. So just something simple up here to just so you can have an oversight, keep stats and all that. So that would be pretty easy, I reckon. But how I do it is really up for a problem. Now you may note that I haven't actually got any access points for these, and that is actually deliberate now. I don't really need, I suppose at this point I'm a little bit tired of having to build access points for all that, so these will not have proper access points from the stadium itself. It'll just be essentially for decoration. So if I do the andesite wall like that, that doesn't look very good, I reckon. So I reckon I need something else, maybe concrete or whatever this thing is, whatever, the grey terracotta. So that might be good, I reckon. So what I think I'll do from here is, this thing here as well. The ground doesn't look very good. It's very stone-like. It's not very attractive, if you will. But then again, there isn't really the kind of blocks that I really need for this in the game for me to build. So what I think I'll do here is continue to design the coaches boxes and go from there. As part of the offices or the coaches boxes, I decided to put in some carpet, and so I can finally make use, and make sure that door's closed, I can finally make use of the wool farm that I've been hoarding for a long time. So where's the red wool? There it is. And as you can see, there is plenty of wool here. So 1, 2 should be more than enough for me to get this underway. Unfortunately, I'm just about out of room again, but this should make it a little bit neater and a little bit more professional. Now, having built 2 of these things, the one here and the one here, I think they're pretty okay. They're not perfect. They still need a little bit of tidying up, I reckon. Just something to make it look a little bit better. And I did consider putting in some, effectively like computer screens, but they couldn't really figure out exactly how to make it the way I wanted. I wanted this to be on the level here. Actually, wait a second. I could do. No, I can't do that. The carpet's in the way. So I was thinking have this thing hanging up from here, but the carpet's in the way, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, we've got these 2 things here, and I think this is a pretty good start. I think if I copy this a few more times, maybe change the carpet, change what this is, put a few chairs in the few of them, I think that would work if I go all the way around. So I'm firstly going to need to get myself some glass, and actually I also want to see how this looks from ground level. So where's my pickaxe? The pickaxe is there. Let's have a look at it. Thankfully I can just jump down or fly down and it looks pretty okay. So let's have a look. From ground level, yeah, it looks okay. It's well lit. It's just a little bit, it's sort of okay. And then if I have some of these seats coming down, that'll be good. So I think that's just about right. So if I copy that a few more times, figure out how I'm going to do the corners, that should be perfect. Or, well, not perfect, but it'll be better. I've just spawned in after logging out and coming back in for a bit, and I've managed to get myself stuck between the glass and this little bench I've got here. No idea how it happened, but it's really, really interesting. Where's the axe? So, yeah, I think what had happened was... How do I get out of here? I think what happened was I despawned out here. I'll just quickly show you exactly where. After I get my pickaxe, I think I despawned here on this block, and then it tried to put me on the full block and then to put me inside the thing instead, which is a little bit weird. So I just need to remember not to do that. So there hasn't been much progress since the last clip, because I've just been trying to figure out exactly how to do bits here and there. It's a little bit annoying now that I'm thinking that these things here aren't quite suitable for the area. I might change it up and just have the just have the seats going all the way around, which would be a little bit annoying, but I think it might be a little bit better. So then again, I think I really do need some boxes here and there. Yeah, the upshot is I don't yet know, but I think I can continue building bits. I think I can at the very least build the second part of this, which is coming down here, and I don't have any andesite. So I think instead of continuing to build these boxes here, I'll build a little bit further down and go from there. I've run into yet another problem in this third tier. Over here we can see that we've got the bits coming down, but as we get down, this bit is not quite as lined up to here, so it does mean that you don't have as much headroom as I would like. It's not ideal, but it is going to continue down the same way. I do need to make sure that this bit follows the curve of the stadium. So I'm really starting to regret putting in the third tier, but I've done it now, so I really should finish it off. How I fix this is there is a slightly different problem. I'm not quite sure how to do it. If I continue, it would of course make this place quite dark, but it would mean that it is finished off. And what am I trying to say? It is getting there is the problem. It's not quite perfect, but my main problem is firstly jumping up these steps. My main problem is actually figuring out how to make this fit in with the rest of the seats. Now I don't have any other kinds of wood here other than the spruce, but if I was to put, say, the spruce seats here, for instance, which isn't really what I want, but if I was to put the spruce stairs there and there, that's about right. It really needs to be one level higher, so it really needs to be at this level. Where's my axe again? So it really needs to be at that level, which isn't right, because then you're going to have people blocking the view of the people in here, which isn't ideal. So quite a bit more to work out. Maybe if I was to leave this here and then have these seats come out one more block, that would work, I think. Bit of testing to do. Hopefully I can work it out, so let's do a bit of testing and then we'll come back and see what we've come up with. The other alternative I had was, of course, just canning these things here all together and putting them somewhere else. So maybe at the very, very top of the stadium, or just putting in the third tier, just like the second tier here, and going from there. So that is an option. It is going to take a lot of andesite and a lot of other things to do, but I think it could work reasonably well. It would mean having to rip out this entire thing, which is not quite what I was hoping would happen, but it would definitely mean a lot more seats to go up with. I'm not going to bother putting in places to come in and out of. I think that is just going to take up too much room and reduce even further the capacity of the stadium. So that is definitely on the table as well. I'm not sure if it's going to look it's probably going to look better, because especially in the real world stadium that I'm basing this off, the coaches boxes and whatnot are rather hidden, so that is definitely they're definitely, what's the word, they're hidden and they're not as visible. So when you're looking at the stadium, especially from ground level, which we'll do now, I mean without falling down, but from ground level, it looks a lot better when you just have these seats here and there's two TVs, make it look really good. So that said, I think that would be the better option. So what I might do is test it on this side here and see what we can do, and leave those boxes there for now and see which side actually looks the better side. And after about half an hour to an hour of work, we've got ourselves a bit of a third tier here. So we can see it's reasonably good. I haven't put in the vomitoriums yet, but I'm not yet sure I should, but I probably will. Over here we've still got the plain old thing, so let's have a look and see what it looks like from the ground. And the conclusion is where is it? It's over here. It's probably not yet the best, but then again I haven't put it all the way down, so it'll probably look better when it's actually built. So the decision time indeed. So where do we go from here? So I think ultimately this thing here is going to have to come out a little bit more before we start dropping it down, because I definitely do want to keep these boxes now that I've built them. I'm going to keep the white thing going all the way around the top because I think that will work well for the planned light towers, which I'll possibly build between episodes or maybe at the tail end of this one. So what I need to do now is is to build up this thing, figure out how I'm going to work it around the TVs, and to put in some places where people could, in theory, exit and enter, even though you can't actually do any of that to the third tier. So quite a bit more to go, and I'm starting to really regret building all of these things here. It's quite a bit of stuff that's going to have to be ripped up and replaced. And yes, you can see here there isn't really that much room here, so the bits that would normally be your entry chutes are just going to be empty bits leading to a blank wall, which I suppose at the end of the day it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really do anything, and these things are just more for show than anything else, to make it look good, which at the end of the day is really the aim. And a little bit more of a progress update. As you can see, I've been making good progress after making good progress on working out these stairs, so quite a bit more here. I've still yet to circle it round and go around this bit of the curve, but one thing I need to be watchful for, which I didn't quite think about, is height. Obviously, if you're sitting in these seats, your view is going to be slightly obstructed, but as long as you can see the ground, that's the entire point of it. So I can probably go down a couple more blocks. Yes, definitely a couple more blocks I can go down by, which would bring this thing just nearly out as far as this, which is just about as far as I want it to go. So maybe one more layer, and then we're good to cap it off there. So this bit's been pretty easy, but I have just about run out of andesite once again, so I've never realized exactly how much this thing would take, but it would be in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of blocks, I would think, just of andesite, and that is a lot. So this build has definitely been the biggest thing I've ever built, especially in survival. I've built something similar in creative, but yes, definitely the biggest thing I've built in survival, and definitely been the highlight of this season, I would reckon. The building of it and everything. Actually, this curve might be a bit interesting, because I need to make sure I keep the curve, same thing going round. So what I might do after I finish off this segment is work on this side of the build and then curve it round, which should be slightly easier, I would hope. So, ouch. So yes, where the plans are going in progress, and we're doing very well here, I would think. One thing I also need to do is figure out how I'm going to go from here to here, because that is definitely a problem. If I can just fly, I've had a bit of problem flying today, but there we go. If I can figure out how to do that, that would be good, because I definitely do need to cap this thing here, so you can still see that TV over there, and you're not obstructing the view of this TV. But at the same time, I do want to transition it slowly down, which is a little bit of a problem, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So it might just be a sharp drop down here, and then to here, into these two, and then into the bits here, which, now that I think about it, shouldn't be that hard. So we've got the steps here, and then now we just want one more layer, or one more forward. I can't remember if it's a full or a slab. It's a slab. What is it like here? It's, that's just slabs. Interesting. Yeah, so a little bit of a problem. I just need to figure out how I'm going to transition this here, but I think I don't want to do the full one, because that would be slightly bad. And how did I do it here? Yes, it was just a slow transition down. That is a little bit tricky. So these things really need to be half slabs instead of the full block. Okay, that's not too hard. We can just get rid of it and try again. But yes, as you can see, we're making decent progress. We're making really good progress as to completing the stadium, and hopefully in the next few, maybe even the next episode, this top half will be done. Final little bit before we wrap up today's episode. As you can see, I've made good progress on doing this side, which will give us quite a bit of information as to how we're going to do the rest of this build. So all this is rather straight, so obviously down here it curves quite a bit, so we're going to try and follow the same model as the TV, and that should work pretty well. I'm yet to decide how I'm going to do this bit, but that will of course be done at some point, possibly in between episodes. Now, what I'm also going to have to work on between episodes is how I'm going to do this curve here, because I definitely want it to the seats to curve round, but how that looks is definitely up for debate. So quite a bit to work on, and quite a bit to build, quite a bit of logs to chop down, because I don't think I've got quite enough to finish off that. I used a stack of each type just for those over there, and you can see I don't have any because I used them all, but you can see that I'm going to have to use probably that's 4 there, so one, that's probably another stack there, 2, 3, 4, 5, so at least 5 stacks of each type of stair just to finish off this segment, let alone over here or over here, so quite a bit. And if you have a look down here, which we'll do for the final look of our thing, it is reasonably good, except for that spider that just went over there. It's looking reasonably good, and I think it'll look really, really good once we get all the seats in, and once we get a 3rd tier in, and of course with the 7 or 8 light towers, or however many we're going to have. So again, I think that's the rest of today's episode, so thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this episode, I hope you like it. I'm sorry for not putting out one last week. I unfortunately had to do a few real life things, university and whatnot gets in the way at times, so hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a problem in the future. But once again, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to keep watching out for the next one. Goodbye.